Hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And for some reason, my countdown clock is freezing up on me. Forgive me for just a second here while I get some things set up here. And I want to welcome everybody to the Joe Boo Sports Report because, guys, without you guys, man, this just does not work. And it's been another one of those real busy weeks. And while I get this stuff going, I want to give you guys a little something for all you Romo fans out there that think that I hate Tony Romo. Let's watch a highlight here for a minute.
Tony Romo digging into the bag of tricks. Tony Romo get that baby alive for a long time. And that's just Tony Romo. Great play by Tony Romo. Romo with the perfect strike. And this is getting over that line. All right, folks, and joining us now live in the studio is our colleague Tony Romo. He'll be heading out to East Rutherford in just a bit to call the Saints-Giants game at 4:25 Eastern right here on CBS. We saw a Football Life on NFL Network last night. Awfully good profile of you. Now, you guys have something in common. Bill Parcells, who he says tough love gave him the twitch whenever he won't. What was Bill Parcells' impact?
Yeah, let me say this. We both had that in common, so we got yelled at a lot, and you just got to take it. But one thing he said to me before the start of a game, 1984, first game, I'm walking out of the locker room, and Tony, you know this, he said to me, Sims, if you don't throw at least 2 interceptions today, you're not taking enough chances. And I said, I can take care of it. Well, why would he say it?
Well, he's trying to free you up, and it's the same thing you see with young quarterbacks. Sometimes they see the pass rush, they kind of like don't want to turn the ball over, they don't want to lose the game. So the coach telling you that kind of lets you say, let it go, I trust you, and you're allowed to do that. Like all these young quarterbacks, I told this to Josh Allen last week, I said, let it go, throw 2 picks. Right. No one complains when a rookie throws 2 picks in his first season in a game. It's part of the process.
You know, you're down in Dallas right now. Are they saying let it go to Dak Prescott? What? You know, this is the same offense I think that you were in.
Yeah.
What are the issues with Dallas right now? 30th in the league right now in offense.
Well, it's not one specific thing. The number one thing is when you run the football the way that they run, and they're still running it pretty well, they're just not getting as many opportunities to run, and a lot of it's third down. They're just not near as efficient on third down, and that right now is why they're not the Dallas Cowboys. They don't get to move the chains on 3rd and 4 as consistently as before. And to me, you want to hand the ball off and just keep giving it to Zeke, fine, but you better just throw a ball, big guy catch. Who's the big guy who just posts someone up on 3rd and 4? Who's the big guy that you say, it's man-to-man coverage, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it right here and just move on? It's like, I don't know what's going on, boom, and move on.
Well, those 2 guys are going.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. My thinking is that you have to evolve with the players you have, right? Mm-hmm. To run the same system now is kind of just not realistic from a efficiency standpoint. You need to figure out what the talent or what they're good at, each guy, and then let's tailor the offense more to that. You know, they have a lot of little guys who have speed. They do have some speed on that team. How do you get these guys moving east and west, and then east-west, now around them? Right. There's many different ways to do it. The old vertical game down the sideline, that's not who they are right now, and I think they're kind of doing a little bit of everything and none of it.
No identity. They're trying to figure out who they are, trying to figure out their identity, like you're saying, Coach. But Tony, forget about the scheme, forget about the players for a second. I want people at home to go inside the mind of a quarterback that loses 2 guys like that. I was there when Dante Culpepper had to play without Randy Moss. I was there when Matt Stafford had to play without Calvin Johnson, whether it's due to injury or them being on the sideline for whatever reason. What are you doing as a quarterback? If Dak Prescott is going to each game, because I've seen times where you had to basically say, I'm going to do more. And then there's quarterbacks that take the other side and say, I'm going to do less. So what is your opinion of Dak? Is less more? Or should he go out there, show the responsibility and say, you know what, I'm going to win this game, even if it has me going outside of the game plan?
Well, you do whatever it takes to win the game. Nothing else really matters. I mean, I feel like what you really have to do as a quarterback, if you find that a player can't do something, I stop going to that guy.
There you go.
He's shown me that this isn't allowed. Fine. I start moving through, going through the next guy, and what I'm going to find is the guy that I can consistently count on to really either be in the spot or to catch a tough contested catch and just keep doing that over and over. And I'm going to move them around. I'm going to get in different spots. I'm going to be like, move down 2 steps so that way they don't know from your split that you're going to run a slant again here. Like, okay. Coach comes over, why'd you do that? Quarterback told me. Okay, good job. Here's all the time.
Here's a couple things, a couple hypotheticals for you. This week, Jerry Jones said, well, our team looks like the Rams. I don't know what he's hallucinating or what he's on right now, but they don't look like the Rams. Hypothetical for you. Jerry Jones comes to you because I heard this week you gave an interview. You're totally healthy, right? You feel good? Jerry Jones comes to you and says, 2 years.
We'll stop it right there. Well, hello, everybody, and thank you all for joining the Joe Boo Sports Report. I see Kivo, I see Lewis, I see Dustin, I see Phantom Frame, okay. I see all kinds of people in here. I see DD Taylor, Falcons. Oh, God, not fake Falcons Nation. Jeez. I literally have a Falcon stalker. Dude is talking about coming all the way up to D.C., for our tailgate. Dude literally emails me stuff and keeps telling me how I'm so unprofessional. Well, you know what? Okay, there we go. Okay, that's just for you. If you don't like what I do, please find a Falcon. Is there an Atlanta Falcons YouTuber out there? Because there must not be. It amazes me how you constantly stay on here day after day after day. Jeez. All right. Anyway, back to the real fans. I'm going to bitch here for a minute. It was great that we got a win. Great that we got back to 500. How you doing, Natasha, JoJo Dancer, Sarah Green, Sandman? Sandman had to take a nap. Dude, I left my house at 8 o'clock this morning after doing a video, worked at 2 different jobs on 2 different basements, including mixing cement, hauling away gravel and everything else, drove home, went to the grocery store, cooked dinner, got down here and live stream. I have been going non-stop. Look, here's my dinner. I didn't even have a chance to eat my dinner. Didn't stop for breakfast, didn't have lunch, and I'm still going. So don't tell me you need a nap, man. But anyway, we're back to 500. And what's amazing is you would think that everybody be like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, football gods. We got to win. We're back to 500. We're even in our division. We got a good chance this week against the Texans. Everybody else in our division is going to be playing a tough game. The Giants are going against the Panthers. The Eagles are going to be playing against the Vikings, who are playing for their lives. You're going to have the Redskins going to New Orleans. Quite frankly, if you look at it, this is like the easiest game in the division. You would think people would be happy and in here just having a good time. But what's amazing is the numbers went down. There's no whining. There's no bitching and moaning. The talk about Dak Prescott sucks kind of slowed down a little bit. But other than that, hardly anything. So I've come to the realization that a lot of our fans, no matter what, all they want to do is just bitch and complain. Because when we lose, oh my God, the numbers are through the roof. And some of you guys, no matter what, you can't ever say anything positive. I'm trying to understand that all the way around. Why is it you're only happy being unhappy? Life is too short just to bitch and whine all the time. You got to count your blessings. Yes, we've had some bad games, you know. We haven't been to the Super Bowl in a long time and stuff, but you could be the Cleveland Browns. Thank you, Junebug. I appreciate that, man. Oh, we need, well, no, okay. Okay, Cleveland got a victory. Yes, they did. But in totality, that Cleveland Brown team has never won jack. Okay? This is how you know things are bad. You're the Cleveland Browns. No, hold on. You're the Cleveland Browns. You're not winning anything. You lose your team, and that team goes to another city, changes their name, and wins the Super Bowl. Not 1, but 2. Okay? That's when you know you just got bad luck. Okay? We could be those guys. We could be the Cardinals right now that are 0-4. And, you know, everybody keeps coming at me about, well, we don't want to pay Dak Prescott. What's happening, Edwin? Thanks for the super chat. You know, Dak Prescott, you know, we should pay him $10 million. You realize that Sam Bradford is stealing $20 million a year right now for the Cardinals, and he's not even activated? that Garoppolo got a $100 million contract. He played in 3 games and ended up screwing up his knee. Come on, man. Count your blessings. We have 3 of the top 5 most popular games as Dallas Cowboy fans. My videos have been lit this week. I appreciate that, man. And unfortunately, all the trolls are gone. There are very few Eagle fans that are showing up now, man. I miss them, just like I missed the Giant ones last year. You know, if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. Don't be a fair weather fan. Don't be a cockroach. Because you know what, guys? Win or lose, I'm here. We lost to Seattle. Man, everybody was coming around. Cowboys suck. We're going to be 5-11. Everything's awful. Dak needs to go. Garrett needs everything. The sky was literally falling. And I'm sitting here saying, be cool. Relax. Had a smile kind of like Tony Romo on my face. I said, it's not over. Because all these people are like, I'm done. The season's over. I'm not going to watch anymore. You just wasted and missed a good game then. You missed a really good game. So instead of worrying about the whole season in totality, why don't we just go through and enjoy this week by week? Because it's already week 5. Week 5. After this weekend, there's only 11 more games left in the regular season. We've been talking about, the season for so long. Let's try and enjoy it. It may not end the way we want it to end, but let's try and enjoy it. Now, apparently, our quarterback has at least moved up a little bit. Where our offense was ranked 31st in everything, we had a decent game. Offense has kind of moved up a little bit. Dak Prescott is no longer the worst quarterback in the NFL, although he wasn't the worst. He moved up to about 25 in the rankings, just from one good game. Now, hopefully, we can continue to get a few more things right. If I'm the coach, if I'm Scott Linehan, and I'm thinking that this is it, this has got to be a good season, or I'm gone. I look at the numbers, and Zeke Elliott, Zeke has been doing incredible things, okay? We know Zeke is the man. Zeke Elliott has tied Jim Brown's record. He's second. Jim Brown and him are second with 28 games. Is it 28 games? Or 29 games to 3,000 yards. Something going on, Mike?
I like Jim Brown, though.
Okay, well, Zeke Elliott and Jim Brown. Michael's over here like, oh, Jim Brown. Okay. Jim Brown and Zeke Elliott, both, same amount of games to 3,000 yards. That's rare air. The only one that was better was Eric Dickerson, who did it in 2 less. Zeke is averaging 5.8 yards a carry. His rookie year, he averaged 5.1. 5.8. And you looked at the first 2 games, he didn't do jack crap. This is really off the back of Seattle and last week. You got to feed him. But not only him, here's what's amazing too. The other guy, you got to put the ball in your playmaker's hands. And until they figure out how to stop him, you keep doing that. Okay? It's football's not. Sometimes I think Jason Garrett, in his Princeton education is too damn smart that he outsmarts himself. Because if you look at Austin, where's his numbers here? Austin. Running the ball, he's only running 4 times, but has got 10.3 yards a carry. Receptions is averaging 16.2. You got to use those 2. You've got to continue to feed those 2. Let Zeke eat and start feeding Tavon. Give him a ham sandwich, And as far as Dak, believe it or not, I know the Dak haters won't believe it, but believe it or not, Dak is one of the most accurate quarterbacks going downfield deep on completions. I know you're going to say you're full of crap, but check the numbers. Check the statistics on it. The only problem is Dak won't go downfield unless you're open. He's not going to take those risks. And as you heard Tony Romo saying in that part is you got to take chances. Sometimes you got to let it rip. Well, here's the thing, though. When Dak throws a touchdown pass and no interceptions, he's 18-0. Turnovers can be game changers. We've seen that where we've had momentum going and all of a sudden we have a turnover and all of a sudden, boom, everything goes the other way. So Dak will air it out. He can air it out like you see to Zeke, even though he's not getting credit for it. You think that Zeke threw the ball to himself. He can do that. It's not a question of it. But it's really a matter of, Jesse, who you want to talk about? Third string tackle? Dak's our quarterback. The quarterback of America's team. The most valuable franchise in the world. Who you want me to talk about? Exactly, Cowboys Crunk. He needs to go downfield more. And that was being my point, the reason why I'm talking about this. But if you look at that game, everybody stepped up. And I remember I kept saying the week before, I said, listen, everybody needs to do 5-10% more, and this thing will get on track. If the offensive line blocks a little bit better, if the wide receivers get a little bit more open, if Dak hits players a little bit better, if Zeke picks it up, and that's what everybody did collectively. And I know everybody's going to say, well, it was just the Lions. I understand that it was just the Lions. But keep in mind that that was the Lions that kept Tom Brady down to 130 yards. The Tom Brady that scored, 38 last night? And in the NFL, a win is a win. So we got 2. We're in a great position this weekend that, hey, if we take care of business, we're going to the Texans, which, quite frankly, is almost a home game. Couple-hour ride down the road, you're right there. And before the Texans came around, most of them were Cowboy fans. In fact, what's kind of interesting, we're simulcasting right now on Vimeo as well as on YouTube. And shout out to everybody on YouTube. On Vimeo, except for Falcons Nation. I see D. Taylor on there. How you doing tonight? Michael's, you know what? Read between the lines, Falcons Nation.
Do what now?
He said Michael was only 2 years old the last time we won a Super Bowl. Yeah, well, how old were you when the Falcons won a Super Bowl, buddy?
I was like 6 or 7, like 5 or 6 when we last time.
Yeah, that's right, 5 or 6. Yeah, but Falcons Nation, how old were you when they won a Super Bowl? The Falcons, that is.
94. I was like 4 years old. No, 3 years old. 4 years old when we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay, so what worked for our offense this past week was doing things. Yes, we're going to be taking some calls in just a minute. What worked for our team this time going around was the fact that we did some things you weren't expecting. The fact that we ended up passing deep to Zeke, something we'd never done before. Never completed a pass anywhere close to that with Zeke. So the teams did not know where it was coming from. That's what you got to do in football. You got to look for mismatches. And I hope and I pray that we don't do like we did after the Giants game and go back to being in that shell. I hope they take this and run with it, go a little further with it. And I hope, and I know Michael does, hopes that the Cowboys start using Rico Gathers. I think we need to start using him enough that he starts getting comfortable. When you throw him in there just one play, it's just not enough, I don't believe, to really get him going and into a flow. So hopefully, maybe they start trying to do that stuff and try and mix it up a bit. Now, the Texans, of course, if you look at their run-stopping defense, they're getting basically 3.5 yards. They're only allowing 3.5 yards per play, which is pretty good. But I will preface it on this. This is one of those things that when you look at statistics, you can prove two different things with the same data. Part of the reason why the Texans are so good on the run stopping is most of the games that they're going against, they've been going against teams like the Patriots. They've been going against like the Titans. They've been going against teams like the Colts. Teams that don't traditionally do a lot of running. And these games are more like shootouts. So teams are passing more, i.e. they're not running some more, which also puts you in a position where you're pinning your ears back and you're going to get more sacks. Now, don't get me wrong. J.J. Watt is still a beast, and, he is playing lights out. And then you got County on the other side there. That's a hell of a combination. So don't get it wrong. But they're getting more opportunities than, say, our Cowboys, because we're getting fewer plays because the nature of our offense. When you run the ball, you run out the clock faster. When you pass the ball, generally speaking, a wide receiver's going out of bounds, stops the clock. Or it's an incomplete pass, stops the clock. Every time you run the ball and the guy stays in bounds, you can run off about 40 seconds easily in between those plays. So sometimes the numbers aren't exactly true to what you think. So, and again, when you looked at the Lions being the number one pass defense, partially because they sucked at stopping the run. And Zeke proved that they don't stop the run. So you're going to run the ball against a team that can't stop the run unless you're the Cowboys. So that's one of those things that you look at right there. But overall, their defense, it's like 25th. They're good against the run, but they're giving up yards and passing. So look for our team, hopefully, to continue to keep pushing the ball down the field, because once they start pushing it down the field, you're stretching the field a bit and you're helping to open it up more so everybody's not crashing in close to you. Let me do something here real quick for you guys. We're going to take a few calls. We're going to see if I've gotten it right. I think I've figured out the echo problem that we have, so let me put the number up. One of these days, I'm going to have somebody who runs the boards for me here. And there's the number. And hopefully I got it right. We'll see if it's going to work tonight. So, Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett need to become more creative offense. Edwin, tell me something I don't know. Of course they need to be more creative. Jason Garrett believes that we can just basically line up and just let our skill take us over the top. That works sometimes. Sometimes you can overpower other teams. But generally speaking, the talent across the board in the NFL is pretty consistent. The number is 903-345-JOE-BOO. Now, here's what's interesting. Somebody had said to me that in Houston, one of the radio stations said they can pour Joe Boo as much rum as they want, but the Cowboys aren't getting a victory. Now, I don't know if that's actually true or not, but if somebody happens to have that clip, I would love to have it. Marky Mark in the Funk Bunch. I haven't heard that in a long time. And here's our first call.
Call from
Carlos Sotelo from Austin.
To accept, press 1.
Hello, Carl. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How you been, Mark?
I am doing fantastic, man. We got a win last week. It's the weekend, and our Cowboys are going to be playing on Sunday night, so I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
You know what, man? I live in Austin.
Uh-huh.
I'm practically 2.5 hours between, well, not between, but either direction to Dallas or Houston. I like the Houston area better.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. That's all that matters.
Okay. So what's your question for tonight?
Yeah. Well, same thing. I mean, I think last time I talked to you, it goes back to the same thing, the same narrative. The even year, Jason Garrett. I feel good, man. I see 11-5. We claw it out, but we'll do it in a convincing fashion. And I see it just like the 2014 was when we had DeMarco Murray that year. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got to take it on the road.
Yeah,
we can't have no buys. We can't get with the 1 slot or 2 slot. We got, for the 4th slot, 3rd slot, and I mean that's the way we see it doing it, man.
Yeah, and I think
we know what happens when we get the buys. I mean, we play wild card games. We seem to do better, and we have better momentum.
Well, let's get through the regular season before we start talking about playoffs. But I appreciate the call. My thing is this. I still think that a lot of the problems with this team is it still needs to play together. I think they'll get better as they start figuring out which guys are who, because I think we've been throwing so many different wide receivers in there that there's been no cohesiveness. Now we've started to play Cole Beasley more on a consistent basis, and you see him and Dak beginning to kind of heat up a bit. And I think they just need to figure out who are our three guys and start weeding out some of the other ones, and I think we'll see a better team. But thanks a lot, man, for all the support.
Have a good one.
All right, man, you have a good one, too. So, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to deal with or will develop as time goes on is we'll start figuring out which are the playmakers. Who are the guys that we need to have out there on the regular? We know that Cole Beasley is always going to be...
From
Kevorkian.
You're on the Joe Blue Sports Report. Who am I talking to tonight? Hello? Okay, that was Joe Kevorkian, I think, but he may have had... If you call in, make sure you turn down your television because there's a delay, and what happens is you'll hear me on TV, and you won't hear Pickett. It's just backwards, okay? Let's just put it that way. Well, thank you, Cowboys X Factor. I appreciate that. What do I think about Kellen Moore and the job he's doing at quarterback coach? Patrick, I got to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about Kellen Moore as the quarterback coach. What I would like to see him is an assistant quarterback coach, and you have a quarterback guru in working with Dak, because I'm not sure that...
Call from
Tony from New Jersey.
Well, hello, Tony from New Jersey. How are you doing tonight?
What's going on, Mark? I'm watching the stream right now and stuff. Really enjoying the things you're saying and stuff.
I
just wanted to add on, appreciate what you were saying about Dak, man. I don't think he gets enough credit as he deserves, and they definitely think that Zeke is out there playing catch with himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
A thing is, about what you said about the team just needs to play together more. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. I'm agree with what Joe Looney has been out there doing, too. He's been doing this thing out there, but I want to just see if, our receivers catch the ball more. Definitely get the ball in Rico's hands and, what's the name? I forget. Turnovers. Turnovers is something that I believe needs
we need to get
happen more sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take some time. I mean, let's be honest now. This is not the cream of the crop as far as wide receivers go. But you take a look at, say, New England. New England, generally speaking, doesn't exactly have, your Antonio Browns and things like that. They kind of spread the wealth around, but they, of course, have a great tight end. And that's the thing that we are missing on this offense. If we had a Jason Witten who was a little bit younger right now, this offense would really, really explode, because tight ends have become really your number one receivers now. And we really need to develop that guy. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I look and say, okay, our offensive line is playing better right now. Maybe you can start putting a Rico out there to start getting him used to playing. Because let's be honest now, he's only had a couple of plays in there, and you're immediately throwing to him. Sometimes you just need to go out there and get a hit. Because I remember until I got that first hit in the play, my heart is just pounding. I'm about ready to throw up. Once you get that first hit, you're calmed down, you're ready to play. They throw Rico in and throw the ball to him immediately, and I know it's just like, I want to get that pass. But get him in there. Let him block for a play. Just let him run a route, and then keep him in there a little bit more and see what he's able to do, because I really think he could become a great weapon for him. He's not going to be a great blocker, but then again, all he has to do is really stand in somebody's way.
Yeah, well, something's going to happen soon. But other than that, man, let's go Cowboys. Hope we get this win on Sunday, and we'll see what happens, man.
Appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much.
All right, man.
Yeah, man. I really enjoy talking to you guys on the phone and stuff. I am looking forward to 2 weeks from Sunday when we have our tailgate at FedEx Field. This is going to be incredible. If you guys are interested in showing up, I'm not charging anything. If you want to help do donations and stuff to help buy the food and everything else, that'll be great. But we're going to be in orange lot right behind the parking structure over there. We'll be there as soon as the gates open up and setting up. We're going to have chicken wings, pulled pork, and everything else. And we're going to be sticking it to those Washington Redskins. So check out my Facebook page, Cowboy Joe Boo. There's the event thing is on there, so that way you can go ahead and sign up for it, and you get all the information about it. I'm not mad at Swarm, not at all. I'm not mad at him, but he's never going to be Jason Witten. And as long as you understand that, then everything's good. But what we need is, you take a look at our Super Bowl teams last year. Zach Ertz and, of course, Gronk were the two leading receivers on both of those teams. That is that other weapon that you can be the security blanket and things. And that's the guy that Dak Prescott really needs. And unfortunately, losing Dez as well as Jason Witten at the same time was difficult.
Cowboys.
To accept, press 1.
You're on the Joe Boo Sports Report. Who am I talking to tonight?
What's up, Mark Bones? It's Cowboy Crunk calling from Afghanistan, my man.
Man, what's happening, man? It sounds like you're right next door, buddy.
I am. I'm only 8,500 miles away.
Oh, shit. That's a hit, man. We can be there in no time, man. I'll just get the SR-71 and we'll fly over there in about 3 hours or so. Anybody who does not know who Cowboys Crunk is, if you remember when we went on our draft trip, he had the other RV and stuff there. And unfortunately, one of the great guys that was there, Kenny, had an accident last weekend and is no longer with us. So thoughts and prayers, man. I know it was tough on you and everything else. Did the Texans do anything with his wife?
Yeah, the Texans are supposed to. Texans organization are supposed to support me. As you guys remember, he was a Texans fan, so I got a hold of their department, their president of personnel representatives, and she's supposed to do something for Heidi. So that's kind of good news. That's
fantastic, man. Man, my thoughts and prayers to you on that. I know that's a hard one, man. I know how close you guys were. But so what do you think about our Cowboys, man?
Hey man, I'm frustrated with the coaching staff still. That to me that's our issue. I think we've got some players, like you said, the wide receiver roster is not what we would like it to be. I understand this. We're going to spread the ball around and we're going to get, but I think Dak's having a little trouble with that because every once in a while he needs a playmaker.
Yeah, well, I don't know it's so much a playmaker, but I think
rhythm go.
I think rhythm. There you go. That is the key word, because I think half of the problem is you've got all these different receivers. You keep throwing them in there. You think about the relationship that Troy Aikman developed with Michael Irvin. It was consistency. Troy knew. Troy could get a little glance to Dez. Oh my God, I'm really having a brain fart. To the playmaker, and he would know exactly what they're doing. They could change things up because there was consistency. But we literally just ripped out everybody who worked with them, with the exception of Cole Beasley. They're not using Terrence Williams, who may be suspended. And now you're throwing all these guys that have never been in a Cowboys uniform before with them and say, okay, well, we're going to play these three. Okay, let's play these guys over here. And there can't be. There's no consistency whatsoever. And I think it's going to take some time, and I think they need to say, you are the number one, you're the second, you're the third, and this is the group of guys. Be it Cole Beasley and be it Michael Gallup, or just settle on a group and let's work with that. To me, that's what I agree. That's what I would think we need to do.
And I think Rico, like you're stating also, Rico could stretch the center of the field, running a few seam routes a game.
Yeah,
would open up and get those safeties. We watched the Patriots game. Josh Gordon wasn't open when Brady decided to throw that ball. He had two guys on him.
Yeah,
you got to do that every once in a while, at least to earn that respect. Mm-hmm. And I made a video a while back, and it was Dak come out the closet. I wanted him to come out of the closet. He's got to open up and trust his arm. He can do it.
Oh yeah.
I know he's got that thing he had with his mother. She really harped on him when he had interceptions, and he took pride in that. And I'm glad he takes care of the ball. I'm glad he protects it. He protects the ball. That's great for us.
Man, I tell you, I'm seeing a lot.
That was all my thing. I think he needs to come out of the closet and just trust his arm every once in a while. But I would like to see Dez back. I really think if he came back, like you said, humble pie, comes back, little
Okay,
more.
well, when I say this about Dez,
Kind of.
people are going to say you're just full of crap. But the Cowboys were planning on bringing him in next week for a workout. This is what I was told.
Yeah.
And you guys can take it however you want to. You can say I'm a liar, or I'm a clickbaiter, or whatever. But what I was told was Dez had basically went hat in hand, apologized to the to the teammates and everything else, to Dak. Basically said, I'm sorry, I'm a changed man, I want to come home. And the Cowboys were going to bring him in for a tryout. And that's where you saw him kind of ramping things up on, Twitter and things. I'm working out, I'm getting my body, I'm doing something soon, And the Cowboys were kind of like, what the F? We don't want people to know that this is what we're looking at doing. And so they basically said, you know what?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying he really didn't say like, "Hey, I'm going in next week to try out for the Cowboys." He just dropped some hints that he was looking at coming back, and he would like to be a Cowboy. Yeah, I don't think he said anything ridiculous. I think they're being really oversensitive with that.
Well, again, they're trying to keep it under wraps, and it's not so much. And see, here's the thing: what I really think what really boils down to is it's not so much that he was letting out the fact that they would bring him in. The thing is the fact that you can't keep your mouth shut and stay off social media. Because if you're sitting here, because you haven't learned anything, because you remember the night before he had the meeting with Jerry Jones, he was going crazy on Twitter and everything, and then after the meeting, he was going crazy on Twitter and everything. Remember? And so, being vocal, they were kind of like, he ain't changed. He ain't changed. He is still out there. So the problem is then you bring him back, and if he hasn't changed, you got now Scott Linehan, who didn't want him there, and Jason Garrett, who kind of was convinced, and you done brought him back. So now it's like, who's running the thing? So you have to be damn sure.
Now they're like, who's right? Who was right? Yeah.
So I think they said, you know what? We just won't take a chance. Zeke is playing well. So, he's going well. Dak looks a little bit better. The offensive line, especially Joe Looney. Joe Looney, I am so impressed with. I think we just need to put, a case of donuts in the end zone so that way he's always running towards it and everything else. So, collectively, everybody stepped up in that game.
Yeah, and as you know, the center, he's kind of like the quarterback for your offensive line. He points out blocking assignments right before the snap, and that took a little time for Looney to grasp that, game time. And now that he's done that, I think everything's good. I think Looney, man, he's playing really, really well.
Yeah.
The last thing on this thing is, I agree. I think they wanted to bring him in undercover, really quietly, see how he looked, and see what the reaction of the team was, and maybe the locker room. You know what I mean? And make sure. If they saw like guys coming up and giving Dez a high five and daps it, and bringing him in, and the team wanted him back, I think they were, but they didn't want to do that, like you're saying, out in the open. They wanted to keep it quiet, do it undercover, and if it didn't work out, hey, there's nobody who.
Well, they didn't want the distraction.
You know what I'm saying? So
because here's the thing, because then it ends up being if let's say hypothetically they brought him in and they said, you know what, he's not really in shape. And then you don't. So then you have all the anticipation of all the media that's there. Oh, did you make a mistake about getting rid of Dez? Did you really have to have Dez? So it kind of would undermine everything. So if you had any doubt, then you just stay away from it. And I've been on the fence on this thing because it's kind of like, when you look at what we have right now, wide receivers, Dez is still better than a lot of those guys that are on there, as long as Dez is coming in with the right attitude. Okay, this is my whole thing of, it's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator is full. And Dez, Dez Bryant was the number one guy. Dez Bryant, I'm Dez Bryant, damn it. I don't have to practice. I just got to show up for the games. I'm friends with the owner. And so you could see him basically, undermining his position coach. You could see him with the attitude and just have the whole thing of, screw all this. That's not what you want for a player. It's a team sport. You need a guy who's ready to go ahead and go and do everything he can for the team. And if you got that guy, I'd be more than happy to have that guy. But, it is what it is.
100%.
All right, my man. Tell everybody real quick
brother.
about your
Hey, I
channel and
appreciate
stuff. And this is Cowboy Crump. Check him out on YouTube, man. He's one of my best buddies and stuff. Tell everybody where to find you.
Hey, guys, I want to say, Cowboy Crump, you guys know where to find me. It's not a big deal. I like to do videos when I can. But, hey, a lot of love to Mark Holmes. A lot of people love you, bro.
I
And
appreciate
we're really
that.
keep fighting through this channel stuff with YouTube.
We got
you're important to a lot of people, man.
the other channel back, man. We're working on some other things to really kind of expand and things like that. So we're slowly bringing that one back as well. So we're going to be using both of them to make sure that we're in good shape. So thank you very much, man. And our thoughts and prayers go out to you
Take
as
care,
well
bro.
as Kenny's
We'll
family.
talk to you later.
All right, man.
See you in Nashville.
Yeah, you got
See
that
you in
right.
Nashville.
Call from
David Sanders.
How you doing tonight, David Sanders?
Hey, Mark, what's going on?
I'm just living the dream here, man. Having a great time on a Friday night with a few friends.
Well, fantastic. I met you at the draft party. It was a great time we had there
Okay.
when you were down here.
You're going to have to probably narrow it down a little bit because I met a lot of people at the draft. But, yeah, it was great meeting you, I'm sure. Are you going to go to the draft in Nashville this year?
I was the guy. Yeah, I was the guy who gave that bottle of rum to Joe Boo. You might remember me from that.
Oh, yeah, I definitely remember that bottle of rum. I appreciate that, man. All right. So what can we do for you tonight?
I was just calling in, checking in, and my whole thing is I'd like to see them get some creativity in that offense and use Zeke in the slot and just match him up on a linebacker and maybe have Rod Smith in the backfield and say, okay, you pick your poison and try to stop one or two of these guys.
That would be, you're asking for a lot now, okay? The fact that we threw the ball downfield, we should be thankful that they at least opened it up that way. Now you're asking for some real creativity. And, we might not want to push our luck too much, but I agree with you, though, that they need to keep people guessing. What was great about that game last week was that the Lions didn't know where it was coming from because he was hitting, it was literally hitting you from every which direction. They rolled Dak out. They had Zeke going, deep and things. So as long as they can continue to do that and not make it easy where it's every first down, we're running, between the tackles, we get stopped, and then we're dinking and dunking, 2 yards, 3 yards downfield, that it's too easy to stop. So, yeah, I'm with you. We need to continue to change.
Yeah, I agree with that. You have these weapons like Rico and Austin, and you're not using them, and you have Dak's legs. I mean, my God, why not use him on some dedicated rollout runs? And
without a doubt.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. Thank God the defense is really playing this year for us because that's the only thing that's, keeping us around in these games this year. If the receivers could just learn to catch the ball, watching that Detroit game, my God, they didn't drop anything that Stafford was throwing to them.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, again, they've worked with him a little bit longer and stuff. I mean, Golden Tate is a better wide receiver than anybody we have on the roster right now. That's not saying that Michael Gallup might not be, but yeah.
Yeah, all the Dak interceptions, for most of them, they're all bouncing off his receivers. That's people getting on Dak about that. This drives me nuts.
The trolls won't count that. They'll say, nah, he's just sucks. He can't throw, But I agree with you on that 100%. But thank you very much for the call, my man.
All right.
All right.
Take care, Mark, and let's take a good spot in our...
Call from
To
accept, press 1.
You're on the Joe Boo Sports Report. Who am I speaking with?
Javon McNeil.
Hey, how you doing, McNeil? What can we do for you tonight? I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm just watching right now on YouTube, actually.
Oh, well, cool. So just make sure you have your volume down on and everything else. So you're watching yourself talking on the phone. How's that feel?
Yeah, it's pretty weird, actually.
So what can we do for you tonight?
Basically, I think this game Sunday is pretty much gonna
tell us a lot about the Cowboys, right? Because, we had a good game against the Giants, then didn't show up against Seattle, had a good game against the Lions. Now I'm excited to see what this offense is going to do against the Texans.
Well, I tell you what, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what our defense is going to do against Watson. That's actually a pretty good offense that they have, and they got some really good receivers. So I want to see how they handle that, as well as how our offense does against, of course, J.J. Watt and Clowney. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup all the way around. But this is an opportunity that the Cowboys really need to take advantage of, to me. Because when you look at the games that everybody else is playing in the NFC East, it's possible that if they can get a win, that all three of the other teams could lose, and that would be huge this time of year.
Yeah, I think it's time we start stringing together some wins.
Yeah, and this is actually okay. We've got, of course, Jacksonville coming up. We've got the Titans, and we got the Redskins. So, there's some games in there that you can win. Jacksonville's going to be tough, but at least you're playing at home. The Titans are winning, but I'm still not quite sold on the Titans. The Redskins, of course, they're feeling like world beaters right now, but they're still the Redskins. So, if we could get 2 or 3 of these games, these next 4, it would bode really well for the rest of the season.
Definitely. We actually played Jacksonville on my birthday, so hopefully we can get that one.
Yeah, that'd be a great birthday present. All right, but appreciate the call, my man. Thank you very much.
Enjoy your night.
Yeah, see, so this is an opportunity that we've got to really take advantage of. We've got some key games that we can play in here. You look at the Giants; their schedule is brutal. The Eagles' schedule right now, their next 4 games are nothing to laugh at, and the same thing with the Redskins. This is where we really need to get a game or 2 up on some teams and stuff. Now, looking at the schedule for the last month of the season, we actually have a very favorable one. We start out with the Eagles, but we play the Colts, Tampa Bay, and I can't remember who the other team is. But
Call from
Manny from Vegas.
To accept.
Manny from Vegas, man, did you put $100 on the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl?
No, I didn't, but I just want to call and check in with you.
All right. Yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, doing good. Just right here grilling some burgers, getting ready for this W we're about to get on Sunday.
I'm not going to guarantee a W, but I'm hoping that we get one. I am really hoping that we get one. So, save me a burger, man.
Oh, yeah, I will. Cheddar and bacon, too.
Okay, cheddar and bacon, that sounds really, really good. So what can I do for you tonight?
I just wanted to get your thoughts on what you think is going to be happening this Sunday. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm predicting 24-20.
I actually think it's going to be a higher scoring game. Believe it or not, I think this is going to be the Cowboys' breakout game on offense. I know I'm going to sound crazy on that one, but I think they're going to go over 30 points. And I also see the Texans scoring a lot of points, so I think this is actually going to be a shootout.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here is the thing about the NFL, because none of it ever makes any sense. It never works out the way that you think it's going to. You know what I mean? Who thought that the Rams...
very unpredictable.
Think about the Rams and the Vikings. They're supposed to be 2 of the best defenses in the NFC, if not the NFL. And look at the points that were scored on that thing. So it makes no rhyme or reason, and you start thinking about the pass rush, because, right now you got to be thinking DeMarcus Lawrence and crew, all the hot boys, are licking their chops singing about the Texans offensive line that's given up, 18 sacks already this season? But you never know. Sometimes it just goes completely opposite of where you're going. So I'm thinking it's going to be a high-scoring game. But that's just me. I'm an idiot, so what do I know? As Paul put it in the chat here, Mark thinks he's a reporter.
Then again, you might be right, because they're desperate, and Deshaun Watson, he goes down the field. He passes like, you already know how he passes.
Yeah. And he's he hasn't been as good as he started out last year, but he's definitely still a guy you got to worry about. And last week, our secondary kind of came back down to earth. Our safety play, I'm still scared to death of. Jeff Heath has reverted back to kind of the old Jeff Heath, and you know, you're playing against some really good wide receivers this week, so it's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah. And from what I'm hearing, they're also treating it like it's their Super Bowl down there. So it's gonna be very loud. It's going to be very packed.
And it's also, too, and this is one of the things that you haven't heard them even talk about, but this is really desperation because at 1-3, you know, you're not having great odds of playoffs. At 1-4, you might as well say, you know, let's get the golf clubs out because the season's over with. So, yeah.
Exactly. They have a lot to play for.
It's a must-win game for them. So it's definitely not going to be an easy one.
All right, Mark. Well, I just wanted to check in. I hope you're having a good night. You're doing good. Keep up the good work.
All right, man. Enjoy those burgers.
All right.
Call from
Jackie Smith.
press 1 to send a voice.
Hello, Jackie. How are you doing?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
So what is the pulse of Cowboys Nation down there?
I want to know.
I don't want to know?
No, you don't want to.
Did it get any better with us getting a victory? That's what I want to know.
Well, we got a couple of our fighters that think that we're going to lose on Sunday, but I just believe the opposite. I think we're going to win.
I think we got a good chance of winning it. You know, it's football. Anything can happen in football, as we all know. You can either win or lose. But I feel good about the way the team is beginning to kind of come together on the offensive side of the ball. They're finally kind of, I think partially with the lack of time of playing together in preseason, that basically these first couple of games have been preseason for them.
Yeah, if we can get some takeaways, if we can get takeaways.
We're the only team in the NFL that does not have an interception. I don't know how the hell that happens.
Because we don't practice takeaways.
Yeah.
None of our guys are these aggressive tank that. So, if I was told that Chris Richard is trying to teach the art of interceptions, how to get takeaways. So maybe it'll be improving in the future.
Well, let's hope so. You know, it's one of those things that sometimes all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of them and things. There's no rhyme or reason in it. It just happened to be being in the right place at the right time. Sometimes it's a deflected ball, and you just never know. So maybe with our lack of getting the first four, maybe all of a sudden we'll get buckets loads of them the next couple of games. All right, Miss Jackie, thank you so much for all the support that you have given me on this channel and stuff, and hopefully I will be down in Dallas for a game soon for another tailgate.
Okay, if I don't see you for Washington,
all right.
I might come for the Washington game, but I'll let you know.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Good night. That was Miss Jackie. So any of you guys that mess up on here and you get blocked, you're getting blocked by Miss Jackie. You better not mess with Miss Jackie. But anyway, that'll be all the calls we're going to take for tonight because it's almost 10 o'clock. I can't believe how fast time literally flies when we're on here. But I did want to talk about something before we go here. Miss Jackie actually brought it up about the turnovers. That is the biggest problem that we have right now on defense. We're getting great pass rush. We're doing good against the run. Last week wasn't quite as good in pass in pass coverage. Jeff Heath missed a few tackles and stuff. Hopefully he's a little nicked up. He'll play better this week. But the biggest thing I'm got distracted. Michael's over there doing something. I don't know exactly what. Thank you, Punch Drunk Savage. Why do our DBs get picks? And we do have a pass rush. That is the $1 million question, Punch Drunk. I wish I had an answer for it. We're the only team, like I said, in the NFL that has not gotten an interception. And turnovers are game changers. The fact that we've been able to not turn over the ball very much is really just amazing. It's fortunate that we haven't, because with the lack of us getting any, it hurts. Because when you get a turnover, all of a sudden your offense is excited, the other team's defense isn't ready to play, and you're open to, boom, all of a sudden having a great play on the defensive side. So hopefully we can start getting these things that are going to start going our way. I think as you see the Texans are a team that does a lot of passing. So maybe we'll end up having more opportunities because they do pass so much with our pass rush and stuff. But interestingly enough, quietly, I think we have a candidate for a Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Van Der Esch, believe it or not, has 28 tackles. He is actually third on the team. Excuse me, second on the team in tackles. Quietly, because you watch Van Der Esch, you don't think, oh, here's a tackle here and there. 28 tackles for a rookie. Put that in perspective. Awuzie has 27. Jalen Smith has 29. Sean Lee's got 20. If he can continue to play like this, one, it's great because Sean Lee can actually take some time and really get healthy, and hopefully, maybe another week or two that hamstring is finally healed to help get us through the season. But right now, in comparison to where we were last year when Sean Lee went out, we know that our defense was literally giving up 180 yards on the ground. That has changed. That's one of those things that you have to be ecstatic about. First week of the season, people were already saying, he's a bust, he's a bust. You actually look at this and say the Cowboys actually filled a good need. Now, I know a lot of people say we should have gotten a wide receiver, but you know what? I believe the biggest problem our team has had for so long is that we have not had a defense that is there to keep us in games. Because, yeah, your offense can score a lot of points. You'll win games when the weather is nice and stuff like that. But it's defense when it comes December. It's defense going into the playoffs and going to the Super Bowl that makes all the difference in the world. And you look at the Eagles from last year, yeah, their offense scored a lot of points, but a lot of it was because their defense kept them in the games. Their defense was giving them the ball and the opportunities. Their defense was giving them a short field because they were forcing the teams to punt. We have not had that, and unfortunately, Tony Romo didn't have that very often throughout his career. Score a bunch of points, but teams were able to come back against us. And I'm so happy about this defense where it is. Now, the biggest problem I see right now is we need to keep guys going to practice. Randy Gregory had to go up to Chicago for, his meeting with the NFL and stuff so they can check on him, make sure he's good and things like that. But he's missing valuable time. And Randy Gregory, we were hoping that he would be an impact player for us. I kind of said, you know what? Let's just hope that this guy can stay on the field with us for 16 games. Anything above that is, icing on the cake. Thus far, he's got one tackle. Now, we got David Irving, who's coming back, but he's missed 2 days of practice this week because of family situation. Hopefully, it's not, the situation we were dealing with over the summer. Hopefully, it's nothing big, and he can get his mind focused on playing football. We all feel sympathy for people at work, that are working for you and doing things like that. We feel bad that you've got problems that you have to deal with at home. But the reality is we have a job to do, and we need you here for that job. It sounds cold, it sounds harsh, but it's the reality of football. And in football, if you can't get the job done or you cost too much money, guess what? They will replace you. So hopefully we can get these guys together, because if we could get Randy Gregory to step up a little bit, we get David Irving like he was last year and put them in the rotation with the other guys, all of a sudden we can really do some damage, and I think you'll see more and more turnovers coming as the season goes on. But through the trials and tribulations of my YouTube channel, I appreciate all the support from you guys. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up thinking about you guys and doing this channel and stuff. You guys know I'm here all day long whenever there's news on the Cowboys, and of course late at night. You guys are really my family, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're going to be live streaming during the game, of course, Sunday night. I'm going to be starting barbecuing some pork butts tomorrow night and everything else. So we're going to have a ball. We'll have the whole gang over here. So we're going to have fun. And that's what football is all about, having fun. So as always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. I will see you